Hello and welcome to Clearview Television News. We're reaching you live from Nigeria's capital city, Abuja. In the news, again, role of the Nigerian media in promoting peace and national development comes under focus in Abuja. Medical laboratory scientists in Nigeria begin two-day summit to expand the frontiers of their profession for better diagnosis of diseases. Rwanda shuts its borders with Democratic Republic of Congo as a third case of Ebola virus is confirmed in Goma City. I am Rose Audu with the details of this and more. President Muhammadu Buhari and the All Progressives Congress on Thursday closed their defense in the petition filed by the People's Democratic Party and its presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar. The PDP and Atiku are by their petition challenging the victory of Buhari and the APC in the February 23, 2019 poll. Buhari had opened his defense at the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal on 30th of July and had called 7 witnesses between them and the 31st of July. He was to continue his defense on the 1st of August. Shortly after the matter was called on the 31st, the president's lawyer, Wale Olanikbekun, announced to the 5-man tribunal led by Justice Muhammad Garba that his team was satisfied with the 7 witnesses they had led. When the tribunal sought the reaction of the APC's lawyer, Lateef Fagbemi, whom it was his turn to open his client's defense, he said he and members of his team also found it unnecessary to call any witness. The Independent National Electoral Commission, which is the first respondent, did not also call any witness or tender any documents. In all, there were 7 defense witnesses against the 62 called by the petitioners. National Working Committee of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, decried the All Progressives Congress statement warning Atiku Abubakar against making comments on the state of the nation. It therefore cautioned against any attempt to indict Atiku over trumped-up charges of inciting and inflammatory remarks capable of threatening national peace and cohesion. In a statement issued by its National Publicity Secretary, Kola Ologbodiyan, it noted that Atiku's comments on national issues have been patriotic and within his constitutional right of freedom of speech. He explained that the former vice president was speaking on crucial national matters, not only as a citizen of Nigeria, but also as a leader and PDP's presidential candidate in the last general elections. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has fixed 3rd of August 2019 for the by-election into the Pengana State Assembly constituency. This followed the death of member-elect Ezekiel Afom shortly after he was declared winner of the 9th March 2019 election by INEC.
At the resumption of hearing of Simon Lalong and INEC's defense at the tribunal, 3 witnesses were brought forth to testify. Yunusa, one of the witnesses, confirmed to the tribunal that the number of valid votes and rejected votes surpassed the number of accredited voters at Saria Mangu polling unit, where he served as an APC agent. Sunday Ode asked Yunusa the actual number of valid voters recorded on Exhibit P25, and he replied 374 votes. Yunusa was given the exhibit to look at properly and tell the tribunal the number of rejected votes recorded, and Yunusa answered 14 votes. Another witness, Lawal, who is an APC agent at Dilimi polling unit, confirmed to the tribunal that there were some alterations on the original result sheet, which also reflected on the duplicate copy. Maigoro Abdullahi, another APC agent, also testified during the cross-examination section. He told the tribunal that the alterations done on the original copy of the result sheet didn't reflect on the duplicate copy. Maigoro was asked to take a look at Exhibit P60A, which is the duplicate result sheet, if there is any alteration on it as the original copy, and he responded saying no. The alteration did not reflect on the duplicates because we altered them at the collation center. The petitioner's counsel further asked the APC agent to look at the exhibit again if there is any signature of INEC official on it, and the agent replied, no, there isn't. Why is there no signature of an INEC official on it? The council asked. The witness replied by saying, because there was an alteration on the copy. At the end of the testimonies by the 3 APC witnesses, the responding counsel, Garba Paul's son, told the tribunal that the witnesses that have testified were all that they had for the day, therefore asking for an adjournment to help them review the remaining witnesses for July 30th. All other counsel in the matter did not object the application of adjournment, but the tribunal chairman, Justice Alima Suleiman, frowned at application, which she described as too early for the day.
The All Progressives Congress APC in Bel-Aji local government area of Kano State has suspended its member representing Bebeji Kiru Federal Constituency, Abdul Mumin Jubrin, over anti-party activities. APC chairman in Bebeji local government, Suleiman Gwamei, said in a statement that the party also recommended Jibrin's expulsion to the National Executive Committee of the party. The decision followed a recommendation of a 7-man committee constituted after the party received a petition against Jibrin of anti-party activities contrary to the provisions of the party's constitution. Jibrin's suspension has also been reportedly ratified by the APC State Executive Committee. Surprisingly, the name of Abu Mumin Jibrin, a staunch supporter and Director General of Femi Gbajabiamila Campaign Organization for office of Speaker of the House of Representatives, was not listed as chairman of any committee of the House, sparking rumors of a rift either between the duo or within the party. A non-governmental organization, Civil Society Legislative Advocacy Center, CISLAC, has launched an analysis of various media reports on corruption cases in Nigeria. The report, a critical assessment of the various corruption cases by different media houses in the country, calls for caution when dealing with some corruption cases in Nigeria. Clever TV's Busola Owuru has the details.
Corruption and the media are viewed by many as two different entities, weighing the consequences of corruption in Nigeria and the role media has played in the exposure. This has become a very serious issue that needs urgent attention, particularly with institutionalization of impunity, which makes some people feel they are above the law. And this has only aided the crippling of lots of things in Nigeria. Anwar Musa, Executive Director, Civil Society Legislative Advocacy Center, in his address highlighted the role the media has played in the fight against corruption in the last few years, saying that democracy is not an opportunity for public officers to do whatever they like.
Corruption in Nigeria has become a serious crisis of our survival and development. And many of these scandals are actually duly reported by the media and complaints also made by Nigerians. Some people think that they are above the law. So the institutionalization of impunity in which some people conduct certain things in government has continued to give room for people to think that they can do whatever they want to do. Media had reported serious corruption cases in this country. Issues around corruption in the health sector.
We call on non-state actors, the civil society, to mobilize active citizens groups to begin to engage the issue of corruption in Nigeria. And as a result, we feel that much will be achieved in that regard. Again, the need to protect the media. In the recent times, we've seen where media persons were killed and some have been harassed by government agencies or institutions. I think this should stop, because if we really want them to work and deliver on what will benefit the nation, then rather than victimizing the media for doing good jobs, we want to protect them.
Thereafter, recommendations were given on how to improve the fight against corruption in Nigeria. after which was the unveiling and launch of Analysis of Media Reports on Corruption Cases in Nigeria, Volume 1 and 2. Busola Owuru, reporting for Clearview Television.
President Muhammadu Buhari met with Southwest traditional rulers at the presidential villa Abuja amid ongoing moves to contain insecurity in the country. The royal fathers were led by Oni of Ife, Oba Adeyeye Ogunwusi. Also in attendance was Inspector General of Police Muhammad Adamu. The Oni told reporters after the meeting that they met with the number one citizen of the country. He has listened to every of the issues they have been having and proffered solutions. He said the Inspector General of Police was presented and the entire security architecture will be restructured. Another milestone is that the President will fast-track every rapid monitoring of our forest by using technology of modern standard. Drones. The various security agencies will rally around the IGP and see how it can be properly deployed. Another thing is that they will install CCTV along our highways. The IGP said they are very aggressive about clearing our highways now. The Assistant Inspector General Police in charge of Zone 11, Adeleye Oyebade, is again assuring that the police governors of the Southwest and other stakeholders are taking all proactive measures to stem the tide of insecurity in the region. The AIG gave the assurance at the Security Stakeholders Forum held at the Zone 11 Police Headquarters in Osogbo, the Osun State capital. Oyebade also disclosed that apart from upgrading its vehicles and having additional PMF personnel, the Zonal Command is making frantic efforts to get modern technology to aid its fight against crime. The report. The Islamic movement in Nigeria, otherwise known as the Shiite group, will on Thursday file a suit at the Federal High Court, Abuja, to challenge its proscription by the federal government. A senior advocate of Nigeria, Femi Falana, who has been defending the group, said it suspended its protests. The group spokesman, Ibrahim Musa, in a statement made available to journalists in Abuja, said the decision to suspend street protests being used to call for the release of El Zazaki, his wife, and others, was to give room for some new openings into the resolution of the matter, including the court option. Falana confirmed that some Shia leaders had consulted him and instructed his law firm to challenge a proscription order in court. He said the suit would be filed today before the Federal High Court in Abuja, which issued the order of proscription. The United Nations has said Boko Haram insurgents killed 27,000 civilians and 24 humanitarian workers in the northeast in the last 1 decade. The UN Resident Coordinator for Nigeria, Edward Callon, who spoke yesterday at a photo exhibition to mark the 10th anniversary of the crisis in Abuja, named Borno, Yobe and Adamawa State as the worst hit by the uprising that was yet to abate. He regretted that over 7.1 million Nigerians were in need of aid, just as about 130,000 people had been displaced. According to him, the only solution is collaboration to bridge the humanitarian development, peace and security nexus. He called on government to complement military intervention in the region with dialogue for an end to the hostilities. Atahiru Bafarawa Foundation has called on the government to collaborate with relevant stakeholders, especially in the media sector, to conceptualize and proffer solutions to tough challenges facing the society. The Director General, Suleiman, made this call in Abuja at the Media and Public Sensitization on the role of the media in promoting peace and national development. Clever TV's Ife Oluwa Ishola was there and now reports.
The media have the power to diffuse tensions before they even reach a critical point and keep a critical eye on government, opposition and society by supplying credible information and reaching a large audience. The media help in managing conflict and promote democratic principles. Against this backdrop, The Atairu Bafarawa Foundation gathered experts from the media to address the importance and undeniable role the media play in peacekeeping and national development. Director General Atairu Bafara Foundation Suleiman Shinkafi says the foundation intends to primarily explore areas of human interest necessary for human security, human capacity development, and national development in which the media plays a major role.
We have to keep politics aside, keep religion aside, and sit together on a table, together with the government. We have to assist the government. We cannot fold our hands and leave the government to do all the work, because it's our responsibility too. That is why Alhaji Atairu Bafarawa initiate this foundation to assist, to contribute to the development of peace under this administration.
The keynote speaker, Dr. Austin Mahu, says people in the media sector need to be enlightened on the proper usage of the sword they wield to avoid either ignorance or misuse that could lead to mass destruction with severe consequences on the society.
Contribution can the media make in enduring peace and development in our country? So what my paper was looking at is the role, the power of the media. The media is powerful to make or break. The media can promote peace in our country, and the media can equally promote violence in our country. The media can promote development, because you know that when you talk about peace and development, they are like Siamese twins. You can't separate the other. You need peace to be able to achieve development.
Former Secretary, Nigerian Labour Congress, Salisu Muhammad, lamented the current security situation in the country and urged the media not to compound the issues on ground, but should rather strive to allay the fears of the people.
Our country is presently experiencing the most devastating security challenge in our national life. Everywhere, people are yearning for peace and security. The importance of the media in terms of conveying messages that will be effective in promoting peace cannot be underrated. Because we also coincidentally live in an area or at a period when the media's transformation has changed the world, and in most cases, not positively.
The Atairu Bafarawa Foundation is a non-profit organization that is born out of concern for the less privileged in the society, especially the weak and the vulnerable. Ifelua Ishala, reporting for Clearview Television.
You're watching Clearview Television News. The news will continue shortly after this timeout.
I'm very delighted. I'm happy to be at Clearview. Like the name implies, everything is quite clear here. I enjoy all Nigerians to continue to enjoy the very clear opportunity of broadcasting. And I said, Clearview, well done, please keep it up. Clearview is it. Don't change that channel. Enjoy it.
Welcome back. As a means of charting the way forward in governance, stakeholders converge in Abuja at a seminar on Nigeria e-governance master plan, challenges, opportunities and protocols in the Federal Public Service. The focus was on the acceptability and discussion on the Nigerian government master plan. Busala Owaru has the details.
Information and technology has changed the process of governance in the world. To manage government affairs effectively, the adoption of e-governance technologies in service delivery is emphasized as stakeholders discuss on Nigeria government master plan, challenges, opportunities and protocol in the Federal Public Service. Guest speaker Temitope Fashedemi, Director E-Governance Federal Ministry of Communication and Technology, says to conduct and deliver government services, e-governance is now paramount.
In the area of the ease of doing business, when the executive order of doing business comes, all of us can attest to the fact that now it is possible to register companies online. It is possible to do your searches online, change directors. So many of those things were not possible before. So those are e-government implementations. Those things were already being done because it is mandate that some people were supposed to do it.
Director General Buru of Public Service Reform, Ibrahim Arabi, and other stakeholders are of the view that given the importance and impact of e-governance in service provision, government agencies and ministries should give support to e-governance models.
Step number one is very good and relevant to us. It will make government services easy, transparent, and give the citizens the opportunity to participate in governance. So I think what needs to be done is additional, as I said, additional advocacy within and outside the service. And the laws that are in place now are forcing public servants to use ICT to deliver their services. As you heard, he spoke about executive orders, ease of doing business, and others that have come on board to force us to use ICT. But with this master plan, it is not going to force us, but the processes are being automated.
I think it's a tool to facilitate governance so that we have what we call effective and efficient allocation of our resources in different MDS.
So we as the civil society organizations, we have our own work that we are doing to support the public service reform, as we are the back-end beneficiaries. So we have to make our contribution. Our government is calling for civil society organization to provide their own input.
The theme for the seminar is Nigeria Government Master Plan, the challenges, opportunities and protocol in the federal.
In its quest to attain an acceptable standard for medical practitioners, especially laboratory sciences and right diagnosis for diseases in Nigeria, the Young Medical Laboratory Scientists Forum this Thursday in Abuja kick-started a two-day national conference. Speaking on this year's summit, the national president of the forum, Obinna Okeke, said it is to synergize and harmonize efforts of members and encourage collaboration among professionals to expand the frontiers of the laboratory sciences profession. The report. The summit, which has as its theme achieving effective medical laboratory diagnosis and management through health system strengthening approach, and as the forum's president Obinna Okeke explains, the objective is to provide opportunities for developing strategies to strengthen the Nigeria health system through proper diagnosis and effectively manage diseases.
The state of our health sector has become so worrisome that patients now look for alternative sources of diagnosis and management of diseases, and hence they need to strengthen it. While looking at our health index as a nation, Nigeria, which occupies the 7th position in the fastest growing population globally, has an estimated 440 million persons by 2050, with an attendant 2.6% growth rate annually, and have some of the worst health indicators in Africa and globally.
Also speaking, the National Chairman Organizing Committee, Young Medical Laboratory Scientist Faith Ajani, encouraged all participants to work towards achieving a positive height for medical laboratory scientists in Nigeria. According to him, the time to take the bull by the horns and save the Nigerian medical system is now.
I've come to put heads together to support global effort on health system strengthening in Nigeria and universal health coverage. As it affects medical laboratory practice in Nigeria, I urge all parties, all participants, to give objective and careful consideration to all issues that will be raised.
Presenting a keynote address, Dr. Dixon Adegoke, who was represented by Chris Chime, said to achieve an effective medical laboratory practice in the country, there is need for adequate supplies of medical equipment and the right personnel to manage and carry out diagnosis, to discourage the use of non-medical scientists, and to achieve accurate result for diagnosis. His position enjoyed support from Senator Sadiq Omar.
In lab system strengthening, every staff capacity development is critical to the overall success of the laboratory. And how do you measure the output? Via monitoring and mentoring.
My young laboratory scientists, please and please, don't mind the practice in Nigeria where everybody believes almost everybody is corrupt. You cannot afford to be corrupt in the laboratory because God will not forgive you. And I'm serious about that. Your decisions, your activities, what you do in the laboratory can affect the life of thousands of persons. So you need to take your job very seriously, be diligent, don't be too excited and be in a hurry to make money. Money will come as a way of blessing when you work hard and you are committed to humanity.
Words of excellence were presented to the 7 young laboratory for their outstanding performances, tireless contribution to the growth of medical laboratory science in Nigeria. The summit, the third since the inception of the Young Medical Laboratory Scientists Forum in Nigeria, recorded a positive turnout with the highest number of participants so far. Experts and scientists from the Nigerian Medical Association have come together to discuss the rising trend of suicide among Nigerians. Clever TV's Uju Onyemichalu was at the association's 2019 annual general meeting and scientific conference with the theme, The Rising Trend of Suicide in Nigeria, a holistic perspective, and reports that it was a brainstorming session on possible solutions and preventive measures for suicide.
According to statistics by World Health Organization, close to 800,000 people die due to suicide every year, which is 1 person every 40 seconds. Nigeria has the 15th highest suicide rate worldwide. It is more in males than females with a ratio of 3:1. While it is less common among elderly people, it is prevalent among the youths. At the annual conference, the chairman, Nigerian Medical Association, FCT, Dr. Philip Ekpe, advised medical practitioners to look into the issue of responsiveness in suicidal cases.
If you compare 10 to 15 years ago to now, you find out that the rate of suicide has increased among professionals, among workers, even including doctors. And so we have looked at it that there is need to tackle this challenge of people killing themselves. We have to find out the reason, the immediate reason and the remote reason why somebody should come up and kill himself. Because, it's a very difficult thing to treat. It is better prevented than treating. Because you know really who is going to commit suicide. They normally hide themselves. And before you know it, they're already dead. So the best thing is to challenge it by prevention.
Also, the keynote speaker, Dr. Tayo Daramola, highlighted the various factors that lead to suicide and how they can be prevented.
Despite reportage of global reduction in the rates of suicide, that may not have been said to be the case with Nigeria, and this may not be too surprising based on the predisposing factors that we have identified. It has been reported that times of economic depression, times that where we have higher unemployment and other vices, it may actually contribute to the rate of suicide. Also, protective factors like the social support, being married, having someone to confide in, having a good social structure where even if there is an adverse event as regards to your financial fortunes, you have a soft landing by the system which can take care of you. That may seem to be lacking in Nigeria.
The Deputy Governor of Nasarawa State, Dr. Emmanuel Akabe, stressed the need for the government to do more to check circumstances that tend to lead to suicide.
The scientific conference is an annual ritual, but the theme for the conference, which has to do with suicide, is quite apt because of recent we've had a few cases of suicides or attempted suicides within the country that have been reported. From what is happening in government, you can see that indirectly we are trying to solve that issue of depression and the rest of them that tend to lead to people committing suicide.
The Deputy Chief Whip of the House of Representatives in Kiruka, Onyejiocha, says the legislature will support any bill on tackling suicide that may be presented before it by the Nigerian Medical Association, NMA.
From the Parliament side, I've asked them that if there is any laws, if there is any bill they want us to sponsor to help curb the incidents, then we are ready to do that. And if there are motions that they want us to bring to the fore for the government to do something about it, that we are all for it, because I believe that there is no reason why anybody should take his or her lives. There's nothing worth dying for.
Suicide is an act of deliberately killing oneself. It is a result of actions taken to deal with intolerable mental anguish and pain, fear or despair that overwhelms an individual's value for living and hope in life. Uju Onyemechari reporting for Clevy Television.
Nigeria Union of Petroleum and Natural Gas Workers, NUPENG, has issued a 7-day strike notice to the federal government to compel Chevron Nigeria Limited, CNL, to annul the agreement it reached with the union, failing which members would down tools and begin an indefinite strike. In a statement signed by the President and General Secretary of NUPENG, Williams Opereha, and Afolabi Olawale, the union said NUPENG, with deep frustration and worries, would like to alert the general public and all relevant authorities of the blatant violation of agreement reached between Chevron Nigeria Limited company and unions in the industry. It is a public knowledge that unions in the oil and gas industry had a protracted negotiation with Chevron Nigeria Limited over 70% labor manpower reduction, which Chevron claimed was required in view of reduction in their operations in the oil and gas industry. After up to 1 year negotiation brokered by Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, it was agreed that the 30% reduction shall be spread in equal percentage among the three groups. It was also agreed that union executives will not be affected by the reduction, that Chevron Nigeria Limited will not in any guise change the labor manpower to service contracts. It was also agreed that anyone that voluntarily offers to go will be counted as part of the agreed 30%. It is further embarrassing to see that NUPENG executives are also part of those already locked out. From our record, over 500 of NUPENG members have been sacked. We further learned that the intention of Chevron is to change the contract to short-term service contract, and we see these as unfair and a breach of agreement reached with us in bad faith. All NUPENG executives should be called back to work. The percentage of reduction agreed should be spread to the three groups as agreed to avoid creating the impression that NUPENG was the target of the exercise. The good disposition of the new leadership of NUPENG should not be taken for granted. Chevron should not be allowed to use this exercise to change the labor manpower contract to service contract in a disguised manner. Consequent on the above demands and having been pushed to the wall, NUPENG hereby puts all our members on red alert should Chevron Nigeria Limited and its contractors fail to honor or comply with our demands within the next 7 days. We would also not hesitate to take all necessary legal options available to us, including industrial actions, to press home our legitimate demands. The Permanent Secretary Special Duties, Ministry of Finance, Dr. Muhammad Dikwa, says the federal government has so far saved 500 billion naira by blocking leakages in ministries, departments and agencies. Dikwa stated these when the Abuja chapter of the alumni of the National Institute for Policy and Strategic Studies visited him. He said most of the achievements were recorded under his leadership at the Presidential Initiative for Continuous Audit, adding that if the initiative was not in place, the 500 billion naira saved by the government would have been spent by MDAs. The Permanent Secretary recalled that over the last 4 years, the Buhari administration has put in place a lot of financial policies leading to blocking leakages and wastages in the system. He said if the initiative was not in place, this amount of money would have been spent by MDAs. Dikwa maintained that the primary focus was to put internal control systems in place to check unnecessary spending of government revenue. Between January and June this year, the Nigerian economy recorded a total investment commitment of $15.15 billion in various sectors of the economy. The Nigerian Investment Promotion Commission has said figures obtained from the NIPC showed that the $15.15 billion proposed investments were made for 43 projects in 12 states and the Federal Capital Territory. Comparatively, the proposed investment for the first half of this year showed a 67% decline when compared to the corresponding period of 2018. Investment commitments are made by would-be investors in specific sectors of the economy, which the NIPC follows up to ensure its full maturity and benefit to the economy. According to NIPC records, mining and quarrying recorded investment announcements of $12.3 billion, reflecting 81% of the total investment proposals made. Manufacturing recorded $2.2 billion worth of investment proposals announced. Within the period under review, finance and insurance recorded $200 million investment proposals, while information and communication recorded $200 million. The report showed that a total of 43 projects across 12 states and Federal Capital Territory were announced from investors in 20 countries. The major destination was the Niger Delta region with 77%, followed by Ondo State at 7% and Lagos State at 4% of the value announced. The records showed further that Morocco recorded investment commitment of $2.1 billion, while Nigerian local investors made investment commitment of $1.3 billion. You're still watching Clearview Television News. The news will continue shortly after this break.
This used to be me. But that was before I got the perfect bag. It's handy and easy to use. All I need in one compact space, just like my MTN Extra Value plan. I used to get one plan for my calls and then try to remember which data plan worked for me. Roaming was a totally different ballgame. Not anymore. I've got the MTN Extra Value all-in-one plan. If you're a data buff like me, you get extra data with some talk time. And if you like to make calls, you get extra talk time with some data. And when I'm abroad, I automatically browse, chat, and call right on the same plan. MTN Extra Value was made just for me.
More of data or calls, whichever one you prefer. MTN Extra Value is made just for you.
Welcome back. The International Committee of the All Africa Music Awards has withdrawn the hosting right from Ghana ahead of the 2019 and 2020 editions of the event. AFRIMA cited the move to lack of capacity by the host country to meet the financial and contractual obligations entered on July 12, 2018. And still on entertainment, as Big Brother Naija housemate Cynthia Nwadiora, popularly known as CC, has made her Nollywood debut in a new TV series entitled Fake Liars. Let's now join our entertainment correspondent for details and more.
Reports understand that the International Committee of All African Music Awards, AFRIMA, has withdrawn the hosting rights from Ghana ahead of the 2019 and 2020 editions of the event. The body reached the decision this Monday after several months of meetings and consultations with relevant stakeholders. The international advisor of AFRIMA, Ricky Stern, while thanking the young people and the media in Ghana, says it was a hard decision for them to withdraw the award hosting rights for the next 2 years, 2019 and 2020 editions, from the Republic of Ghana, saying that the reasons for that is that the award is for the African people and should be structured to travel around the continent to give the people the true African experience. He added that the situation faced in Ghana has the potential to erode the goodwill and giant strides Africa tends to achieve through the awards, and said that the awards will be returned to Ghana at a more opportune time. And the ex-Big Brother Naija housemate Sisi has made her Nollywood debut in a new TV series titled Fake Liars. The movie, which was directed by the multiple award-winning movie actor and producer Elvis Chooks, Sisi starred alongside actors like Nkemowo, Hafiz Oyetoro, Charles Okocha, Caroline Danjuma, Brother Shaggy, among others. According to Chooks, Fake Liars tells a story of the quest to impress the social media pressure to please others. They mostly turned out to be professional liars whose desires for self-validation almost made them to destroy the most important things in their lives, he said. It all seems Sisi is not about to back down on her struggle for fame, as she does virtually everything in the entertainment industry. Cecilia Okoli reporting for Clearview Television.
From the foreign scene, Rwanda has shut its frontier with Ebola-hit Democratic Republic of Congo after a third case of the deadly virus was detected in the border city of Goma. The Congolese presidency said in a statement that there had been a unilateral decision by the Rwandan authorities that affected citizens from both countries who had to cross the border as part of their daily life. Goma, a city of 2 million people and a major transport hub, shares the border with the Rwandan city of Gisenyi, which has a population of more than 85,000. Cross-frontier links are intense. Many people have jobs on the other side of the border, while others have homes or put their children in schools in the neighboring city. The statement added that, on the basis of a unilateral decision by the Rwandan authorities, Rwandan citizens cannot go to Goma and Congolese cannot leave Gisenyi, but are prevented from going home. The decision, it said, harms a number of Congolese and expatriates who live in Gisenyi but work in Goma. The announcement came just hours after a third case of Ebola was recorded in Goma, widening the scope of the epidemic on its first anniversary since August 1, 2018. 1,803 lives have been lost in the second worst outbreak of Ebola on record, according to figures released. 2 of the 3 cases in Goma have died, sparking a race to find people who have had contact with these patients. Health experts fear outbreaks of contagious diseases. And in India, police have confirmed the arrest of 3 men who allegedly raped and beheaded a 3-year-old girl in the eastern state of Jharkhand. Railway police officer Esaham Waharib said that 3 men who were believed to have sexually assaulted and killed the girl and a third, who is the mother's partner, were arrested. The girl was sleeping with her mother at the Tatanagar railway station in Janspaduk city last Friday when she went missing. A police complaint was filed at the time. CCTV footage showed a man walking away with a sleeping child in his arms, hoping to identify the suspects. They arrested 2 suspects in their 30s led police to the mutilated body of the child, which was found in a bag at an isolated place. Wakrib said the suspect confessed to raping, strangling and beheading the child. According to the police, one of the suspects recently served a sentence for kidnapping a child and attempting to kill her in 2015. The police said the mother told the police she suspected her partner of involvement in the crime and his role is being investigated. He added that sniffer dogs were being used to find the child's head, which is still missing. And you are still watching Clearview Television News. Next is sports.
Night concert is the secret of cheap viewing. All you have to do, just get your decoder, any free-to-air decoder at all, and tell the installer to track it to Night concert.
So you get all your latest news from there.
It's not only that, entertainment, Hausa programs, sports, even news from the villa and plenty other things.
And I've been burning my money on that company from Southeast Africa or Northeast Africa or somewhere. I'll be back.
When are you going to
get my decoder, of course.
It's switchover time. Nigeria Communication Satellite Night Concert. It is viewed in about 38 countries. No subscription. Just buy the free-to-air decoder. Be part of this, and you have access to Clearview Television 24 hours, 7 days.
Hello and welcome to the sporting segment of Clearview Television. I'm Oguntimehin Tolulokpe Oguntimehin. Super Eagles and FC Paderborn of Germany wing-back Jamilo Collins is excited about interest from clubs in Turkey, according to reports. It has been reported in the last 48 hours that the Turkish football giant Besiktas have shown interest in the Nigerian following his exploit for Paderborn last season that saw them giving promotion to the elite division, and also his performance for the Super Eagles at the recently concluded African Cup of Nations in Egypt. The Cardinal-born player has, however, said it's a welcome development, but that he is focused on his club preseason as his representatives can handle the issues regarding that. I am delighted that such a big club like Besiktas are interested in me. It shows the progress I have made in my young career, but I have to say, I'm still a Paderborn player for now. I will keep working hard to become a better player, Collins said. Ask if you won't be interested if the Turkish giant gets very serious. The Abuja Football College product shrugged off the question, stressing that that should be a question for his representatives. Super Eagles striker Victor Osimhen has completed a club record sale from Sporting Charleroi to French side Lille after putting pen to paper on a 5-year deal. The former Wolfsburg of Germany player completed his medicals upon arrival in France on Wednesday night before sealing the deal a few hours ago, with Charleroi said to have received a club record 12 million euros, which could rise to around 20 million euros with further add-ons. The Nigerian becomes the club's 8th signing of the season, with head coach Christopher Gatia excited to work with the young forward, who is expected to take the number 7 shirt, as Rafael Leo is expected to leave in the coming days. The 20-year-old shot to prominence in 2015 after leading Nigeria to the FIFA Under-17 World Cup trophy, where he scored 10 goals in 7 matches to win the Golden Boot. That performance earned him a move to German side Wolfsburg in 2017 before he then joined Sporting Charleroi last summer, where he scored 22 goals in 42 games, forcing the club to break the bank to sign him on a permanent basis. Newly unveiled manager of Lobby Stars Football Club, Olugbenga Ogunbote, has stated that his sole target is to reposition the Makurdi-based club for glory. The Ogun State-born football tactician said shortly after his unveiling ceremony in the Benue State capital, and that he gave himself a personal target while arriving at a new club. I have a target of repositioning Lobby Stars for upcoming glory days, said the Oracle, as it's fondly called. I always set a target for myself when I'm going to a new club, and I ensure I pursue it diligently, he added. The Cafe licensed coach, who guided Enugu Rangers International FC to 3rd position in the 2018-2019 season of the Nigeria Professional Football League, also stated that the decision to move on was out of passion for new challenges, and that he wanted to make history with his new club. Arsenal have signed Ivory Coast winger Nicolas Pepe from Lille for a club record fee of £70 million. The 24-year-old signed a 5-year deal contract at Emirates Stadium after having a medical on Tuesday. Pepe scored 35 goals in 74 League One appearances for Lee, who he joined from Angers in 2017. Nicolas Pepe is a highly rated and talented winger who was wanted by many of the top teams in Europe, said Gunners boss Unai Emery. Signing a top-class winger has been one of our key objectives in this transfer window, and I'm delighted he's joining. He will add space, power and creativity with the aim of bringing more goals to our team. Meanwhile, double Olympic champion Caster Semenya will now defend the 800 meters title at the World Championship in Doha in September after the Swiss Federal Tribunal reversed a ruling that temporarily lifted the IAF's testosterone regulation imposed on her. A spokesman for the athlete said on Tuesday, Semenya is appealing the Court of Arbitration for Sport ruling that supported regulations introduced by the sports governing body, the International Association of Athletics Federation, IAF. These say that XY chromosome athletes with differences in sexual development, DSA, can race in distance from 400 meters to a mile only if they take a medication to reach a reduced testosterone level. I am very disappointed to be kept from defending my high-end title, but this will not deter me from continuing my fight for human rights of all the female athletes concerned, Semenya said in a statement from her representative. CAS is based in Lausanne and comes under the jurisdiction of Switzerland's highest court. Meanwhile, IAF said they will only comment once they have read the full reasoning behind the judgment. And that's it from the sporting segment of Clearview Television. I'm Oguntimeng Tololapa Oguntimeng.
Welcome back. And that's all for the news, but before we go, a recap of our top stories. The Nigerian media have again been challenged to guard jealously their role in promoting peace and national development in the country. Medical laboratory scientists in Nigeria have begun a 2-day summit aimed at expanding the frontiers of their profession to achieve better performance in the diagnosis of diseases. And Rwanda has shut its borders with the Democratic Republic of Congo as a third case of Ebola virus is confirmed in Goma City in the Central African country. That's the news. Remember that you can subscribe to our YouTube channel via Clearview TV. Like us on Facebook via Clearview Television. Follow us on Twitter at Clearview Online. Follow us on Instagram at Clearview TV_NG. You can also watch Clearview TV on Nigecomsat with any free-to-air decoder. For details, contact your local installer. I am Rose Audu. Many thanks for joining us.